it's already like 2 weeks into January, and I'm pretty late to this, but hey, that's fine. That's okay. We'll just go with it. People are late sometimes.
Hey, what's up? I'm going to be jumping straight into this. So I use the Leuchtturm, I think that's how you say it, journal, which is really popular. I think most people use it for journaling. And I've just written some Taylor Swift lyrics at the front from my favorite song. Just think it's a nice way to make the front look a bit prettier rather than adding stickers or a painting like I did with my last one. I thought that ended up looking a bit too messy. And then I actually used the labels that come with the Leuchtturms to just add my name at the front, and I've done a little quote there. And the side labels as well is nice to be able to see what year it is when it's shelved. And then on the back I've written a quote from The Wind Rises, which is one of my favourite Ghibli films. So I'll just show how I do the beginning pages of a new journal. At the front, on the first page, I wanted to have a photo of myself. So I'm using one that I took on New Year's Day with my Fujifilm Instax. And I just stuck that in with some washi tape. Moving on, I actually use my index pages, so I wanted a nice kind of quote on there as well. I've just ended up using Fresh Start, and I wrote that in with my Tombows. I know that a lot of people don't use their index pages, but I find them really helpful. Also, the colours reminded me of watermelons. I want to add a painting here, but I'll come back to that later. And I've already filled in the boring bits for this video, so all the calendars and any boxes or lines needing drawn have already been done, because I don't think that's really interesting to watch. This is just a year at a glance page because I think it's a nice way to start any diary. They always have one anyway. I'm just using a Pentel sign pen to add in the months. And I thought that looked a bit too dull, so I'm using a mild liner to go over the days. Next is the future log pages, and I'm just using that same pen to do the months here as well. And then I didn't think I'd be using the whole page to write dates down anyway, so I'm using some pens to do little drawings at the bottom. I never plan any of these little drawings, I just draw what comes to mind, and most of the time what comes to mind are easy little plants and flowers. I've never had a future log before, because I didn't think they were necessary, I suppose. But then I realized that each month, whenever there was something months in advance or even the month ahead, I didn't have anywhere I could write it down to remember, and I just have to hope that I remember by the time the month rolls around. So hopefully now this will be useful. And then I'm just using some Tombows again to add a little bit of colour. And I'm using the colourless blender to make it, look a bit more paint-like rather than just block colour. Now that's done, I'll be writing things in with a Muji pen. I just think it flows really nicely. And I just need to do this on the next page. Voila, as if by magic. Now the next pages, I decided to do a moon calendar with the dates written down and then the phases of the moon when they occur. And then my camera died, lol. Anyway, all you really missed was me writing the titles, again using Pentel sign pens. I saw this on Instagram by someone called Books of Notes, and I just thought it was really cute, and I'm quite enamored by the moon. I like the idea of it. I thought the period tracker would work well next to the moon calendar because, they're closely related. I thought maybe I could discover something about how my periods are and the phases of the moon. Next are the year in pixel pages. I've seen this a lot, I've seen it everywhere. The idea is that each day is a box and you fill it in with a color. So I did like how is your day? I suppose it's similar to mood tracker. And I'm doing the weather as well, because I used to track the weather daily and I just write a little symbol next to each day, but I'd kind of forget sometimes. In an ideal world, I suppose the how was your day is going to be all purple and green, but I don't know. You don't know how the year's gonna go. I always think that I'm quite optimistic and I might just fill everything in green, but hey, I might have some bad days and I don't know about it yet. I think it's nicer to have it in color and I can, I'll see how much rain the north of England really does get. So going back to that painting, Pantone do a color of the year and I really like that concept. This year is ultraviolet, so a sort of deep purple color. They always have some sort of meaning to it, so I think this one's meant to represent forward-thinking, futuristic sort of concept. Instead of downloading an image on the internet and just printing it out, I thought a painting would give a bit more of a personal touch, and I do like watercoloring, so that's a bonus. The washi tape was meant to keep the edges clean, but I ended up going over the lines a bit anyway. And then I'm using a gel pen to just add little stars, make it look spacey and futuristic. I think it came out cool. The way the watercolors ran made it look like they were nebulas. Fun fact though, ultraviolet is colorless, but to be honest, I think most of you knew that, seeing as we don't just see rays of purple. Then I just stuck it in next to the year in a glance. Next is all my swatch pages. So firstly is the Tombow dual brush pens. I've been wanting to get these for ages, but I couldn't decide on the colors because there's so many. And in the end I just bought the Brights palette, because then at least I have one of each. Next is the Pentel sign pens, and I've just written sentences in each of the colors. They're really nice, but I actually wanted the Pentel touch pens, and I got the order wrong, so I need to wait until they arrive before I can write those down. They look pretty much identical to the sign pens. I think the only difference is that it's glittery on the outside, and the Pentel Touch is more of a brush pen, so you can do like calligraphy style with them. Next are my Muji pens. These are the ones that I use to write. I think they flow really nicely. They're a nice size as well. I got the wrong size for the purple, but otherwise they're 0.38 millimeters. And then I've got the Zebra mild liners. These are the best highlighters I have ever used. The colors are really soft and pretty, and they don't really bleed very much. I organized mine into colors, but they actually come in packs, so for the purposes of the swatch, I've done them by pack. And then next are the Washi Swatches, which I haven't written the titles for, so I just did this again with the Tombow in the purple color. And, of course, I managed to misspell swatch. So I kind of quickly moved on and just wrote it on the next page because I couldn't be bothered. Then I realized, hey, it's a washi swatch. I can cover it up with washi tape. Then I added like some dimension to the other word and blended that out. So hey, now it's all pretty and it looks like I did it on purpose. So these are my more scenic, landscapey washies. And on the next page are all the random ones I've collected. And because I'm a stationery addict, I've ordered like 10 more. Next, I've dedicated this page to my New Year's resolutions. And I haven't written them down yet because I want them written in calligraphy with the Pentel Touch. But if you want to know what mine are, I made a whole video about it. So now I'm going to be doing my January spread. I've kept this layout since I began bullet journaling and it's really worked for me. I just like that I can see the dates clearly and I can write down anything important that'll come up in this month. And on this side, I'm going to be painting on a little rolling hills, forest trees. I've seen it a few times and I just think it's pretty and it's nice for the new year. And then my camera slipped. I hadn't tried painting directly onto a journal, but it kind of worked out well. It didn't run through or make the paper soggy or anything, but I guess you just have to be careful. I also never plan these spreads. I kind of do them freehand. I always go in with either an idea or a color scheme that I want, and then otherwise I'll just go straight in and paint directly on or write directly on. I don't like planning things too much. I think it's better to just have whatever's in my mind and throw it right onto the page. Also, the benefits of having the swatches right at the beginning is that you can always just go back to them. Especially with washi tape, I keep mine all in a box. They're not very well organized, so if I want to know what one's going to look like with certain colors, I have to trudge through the box and check how it looks. I like the blue theme for January. I think I used it before. I just think it's a nice, especially like a gentle icy blue because, you know, January blues, but I don't think blue is necessarily a sad color. To me, it feels fresh and cool. I could have just left it like this, but I tend to overfill my spread, so I've done little doodles. I don't know, maybe this is actually minimalist for some people, but for me it seems I like when there's a lot going on and I draw sparkles on anything otherwise. Like if there's empty space, I'll just draw little sparkles. Also, I tried so hard to make sure there was space for the dates on this that I kind of didn't make it center and that really annoyed me. So I just thought, oh, I'll just write some quote or some doodle next to it. It'll be fine. I did end up really liking how the spread looked in the end though, so, you know, all worked out well. Next are my habit pages, and I track them monthly. So I have just random habits down the side, but I track sleep and water intake specifically. The sleep I go by what hours I'm asleep every night, and then for water it's just in liters. I try to get 2 liters per day. By the way, excuse my really ugly nails throughout this video. Finally, I'm losing the light here, so sorry for it being really grainy. I'm just gonna show how I normally do my weekly spreads. I used to do these really boring and systematic, and I use it more like a scrapbook. I just print out photos from that week and then put them around, so that made it look pretty, but otherwise it was all black writing and really boring. So I started experimenting with kind of nicer spreads. I just do these randomly. Again, I do them freehand. I don't go in with any ideas most of the time. I'll just have whatever printed photos I think look nice to me at the time. I'll choose those, and then whatever color palette screams out to me, I'll use. I probably should have done something a bit more profound than eggs for my first spread, but you know, I just really like eggs. So there we go. I'll just do a really quick flip through of what I've done. I like how it turned out. I didn't really do a lot of planning when I started my bullet journal last year, and I just kind of I did a year in a glance page and then went straight into the month spread, and I didn't have any trackers and I didn't have any real embellishments or anything. What I did do last year was collages at the end of every month, and they looked really nice, but they also were quite bulky because it was a lot of paper and I'd stick in loads of those like puffy stickers, and it made my bullet journal really thick and hard to close. I'm really happy with the swatches as well. I think that'll hopefully help me pick palettes, color palettes really easily from now on. And I ended up really liking how the January spread looked. I'm really keen on the blue. I think it's important for me to choose a color that I can be happy with for the whole month. And then finally, this is how my week spread looks when it's mostly filled in. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll be doing this for every month. And yeah, I'll see you around. Bye.